It's the Locked On Flyers podcast for Wednesday, September 10th, your daily dose of Flyers news, analysis, and high quality content that is wondering what the state of the Flyers will be according to them.
Interesting.
You're Locked On Flyers, your daily podcast on the Philadelphia Flyers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, and thanks for making Locked On Flyers your first listen every day. I am Rachel Donner. I've been podcasting about the Flyers, the NHL, and hockey for a decade, and I'm here with prospect expert and Flyers credentialed reporter for 20 years, Russ Cohen. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com, and you could win $300 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. To keep up with our latest episodes and Flyers news, you can find us at Locked On Flyers on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Twitter. And of course, here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We will be hearing from Dan Hilferty and Keith Jones today about the state of the Flyers. It's their first official presser before rookie camp kicks off. And we will, of course, cover that on the show tomorrow. But we are going to get into what we think they're going to say, what we hope they say heading into this season. Plus, we are going to get to your mailbag questions as we always do on the Wednesday show a little bit later on. Before we dig into the state of the Flyers, the NHL draft date has been set. And as we have a prospect expert on the show here, Russ, I think that, we always keep track of these things. And now we have a countdown to work toward June 26th to 27th. It will be decentralized again, as we heard at the end of the draft this past year. We don't have a city yet.
No
but
city.
They hope.
Yeah, I mean, I hear behind the scenes Montreal, but then I heard the draft was going to go back to normal, and it didn't. So take that for what it's worth. That's why sometimes speculating is not worth it.
Right. We're in theory going to hear by the end of this calendar year what that city is. I would certainly hope we would, because people
they said by
for that.
By year's end.
Yeah.
That's their goal. So I think they're trying to, they probably have, usually the way it works is they have 2 or 3 sites that they want. They talk to them, they send people out there, they check the hotels, they do all that. They stay in certain places and they see, and they just kind of see how everything is. And so I think they probably have that list and they're just going to narrow it down.
Yeah, I think, it'll be interesting to see where it ends up and how decentralized it turns out to be. If they in some way make it more of a hybrid approach, I think that would be interesting. But again, I did not love the decentralized version of it, but apparently the league did. So that's what we're doing.
GMs. I'm not sure the league did. The GMs did.
That is also fair. And I do wonder what the effect of Gary Bettman when he eventually retires, like how that will change the balance of power and how these events will start to get presented.
Yeah, I mean, Gary didn't want it initially, probably still doesn't want it. Bill Daly, he still has to listen to the owners the same way Gary does. So it's kind of like, yeah, I think Bill's got, I've spoken to him a little bit. I think he's got some different viewpoints, but a lot of times he is very aligned with Gary, at least for now. At some point when they're not, maybe that will change. I can't really tell you. I don't know.
We shall see. Now, of course, like I said, today we will be hearing from Dan Hilferty and Keith Jones about the state of the Flyers. And given that it's the two of them and not Danny Briere, this is going to be more of a high level look at the organization as a whole and how they feel. And it kind of gives them a little bit of a window to talk about Danny Briere and the Flyers. And how the team is put together and what things are looking like heading into camp.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get too much into the players and such. I think it's going to be more business and, how the new arena is coming along. Like, people are asking about that. I think they'll answer to that a little bit. I think they'll answer to the Xfinity Mobile agreement and what's coming for that. I think maybe they'll talk about what promotional days, are coming up and those kinds of things. And
you would hope.
Right. And business opportunities and things like that. I think it's going to be more of that. I think they'll just give cursory mentions of Danny. But this is like one of those things. Usually if the GM's not there, it's usually about business.
Right. And I think with the arena conversation there, I think we're always curious what the balance of power is going to be between the Sixers and Comcast in the new arena.
I think it's dead even.
Right. But what does that mean functionally? Right.
Well, I'll tell you what I have noticed just from being a New York Jets fan and them sharing with the Giants. Ever since they've gone to MetLife, it has been right down the middle, and they work well together. And I think the same thing is going to happen here. So I think it's right down the middle. That's the way I think.
Yeah. And then I think, given the new arena, like what does that mean for the existing arena and the amenities there and any programs or any changes that'll be made to the arena in the short term to accommodate what they need to in the meantime, or they just aren't going to spend any money on the existing arena at all other than
No,
the
I don't think they
cosmetic
will.
updates to the name, right?
Right. Yeah. Other than that, I think that's that. They put their big investment into it a couple of years ago. They upgraded it for the fans. They did that. I don't think they're going to do anything else to it. The big trick will be where exactly is the new place going to be, because now Xfinity Live is there, so you can't just simply go to that side of the parking lot again and build a new place there. So maybe it's going to be more towards the back end, maybe closer to where the football stadium is, something
Right.
like that. And, that'll impact parking a little bit and such for a little while, but it's going to be something like that. It's going to be very close.
Yeah, I do remember. I know this is like a deep pull here, but for Tottenham in the Premier League, they actually built the new stadium like touching the old stadium. There's like one corner of it in London. It's like amazing how they did that whole process there.
City
And it
Field for
could
the
be something
Mets.
similar.
It could. City Field with the Mets was right next to Shea Stadium when it went up. I have
Right.
pictures. They are literally right next to. So they could go with that model too. That is the other possibility.
Yeah, looking forward to those renderings. And
Yeah,
I
that'll be
think
fun. Like if they have that, it'd be cool to see.
it would be incredible to see if they have an initial rendering of what
Right.
they're thinking about thus far. I know it's in the early stages,
Yeah.
so,
I always like the 3D
architecture.
models that I can go look
Oh,
at.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think, as far as the state of the Flyers and just from a big picture perspective, I think it would be important, at least to me, to hear about spending on the team and what are they investing in as a team
And
from
they
the
may do that. They may
infrastructure.
talk about community relations stuff. They may bring up all those kinds of things. Like, I don't think I can make it, but if I was there, I might say, "Hey, Dan, if they talk about the new arena, where's the new seats for the press box of the new arena? I'd like to know." I'm sure that would be a fun question.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
But
I'm more
I'm
talking.
just kidding. I know.
No, I know, but I'm talking more about investments in the infrastructure of the team in terms of personnel. Are they getting more stats staff involved? Are they getting more analytics?
That's
Are they
still Danny.
using.
That's all front office Danny. So
Well,
they,
but
they
I think from a business perspective, like what are they investing in? And are they investing in the community? Are they going to build additional rinks? Are they going to have more programs for
yeah,
youth
that they'll talk
hockey?
about that. But I
All
think
all of
but I
that
think once
stuff.
you start getting into the analytics department, that's Danny, and I don't think they're going to touch that.
Yeah, I think they could touch on some of the things within the Flyers organization about where the dollars are going and where they're looking to invest and enhance. I mean, I think that it's also valid to ask the question with them adding a WNBA team, is there interest in a PWHL team
Sure. That might
down
get
the
asked. Yeah.
road? And are they going to build the facilities to accommodate that? Should that
Right.
eventuality,
Yeah.
come into play there? I think that's a really important question to ask them at this point as well.
Yeah. No, I think those are all valid.
Yeah, so I'm very curious to see, like, again, what's the tenor of this conversation going to be with the two of them? What topics are they going to focus on? I think, knowing them and past experience, they are going to praise Danny Briere and the staff and
Sure.
say, we're excited about camp, we're excited to get going, we're excited about Trevor Zegras, all the things that you expect them to
Yeah.
say, just at at a high level, but I'm also hoping to get some nuggets of something new, something different,
Well, I mean, what they
something
could also,
unexpected.
yeah, I think what they could do is something that they did before, but hasn't happened in a while. Maybe they'll have like a college hockey game there. Maybe they'll
Mm,
have, they've done that before, and I've covered
right.
some of that. Maybe they'll have like a small tournament. Who knows? I mean, they do it for basketball. They might mention that. So it could be basketball related, it could be hockey related. So you never know. Something like that could pop in.
Right. And, I do think that it would be nice to get a PWHL
Yeah,
game
sure.
in this upcoming season. They've been doing a takeover tour where they have one-off games in different cities that don't have teams. And it would be great if Philadelphia was one of
Yeah,
those
I think
teams.
I think it would be difficult because of concerts, the Sixers and Flyers, but I'm sure there's a
It's not
small
impossible.
possibility. It's not impossible, but it all depends.
Yeah, yeah, we shall see. All right. Well, there's a lot more to talk about on this front, as well as a new hockey team that will be starting up in the area, or a new old hockey team. I don't know how to talk about it, but we will talk about it coming up next. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. And that's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all in one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy to use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does that heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and you finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Monarch helps you notice an inefficient investment allocation. You can find forgotten money from past jobs. You can turn it around and invest even more. So don't let the financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. All right. On tomorrow's show, we will, of course, talk about the results of this press conference and any of those potential things that we just talked about,
Yep.
if any of them come to fruition. Man, would I love to hear that. We'll hear about any rookie camp updates. We might get some injury status information ahead of camp because I know they're doing off ice
Yep.
activity today. So hopefully we get some updates on that front. And then on the Friday show, we'll have notes from day one of camp. Both of us will be there. Plus, we'll have your poll results on the power play. So, very excited to get to all of that this week. We do have a new team coming back to the area in Trenton. Now, Trenton had an ECHL team for many years.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think, it was really sad when that went away, because I think having something a little closer than Reading, a little closer than Allentown, I think was really nice for the fan base. It's always a good thing to have a team in New Jersey, first off.
Right. It's interesting because people from New York could get there, people from Pennsylvania could get there, people from New Jersey could get there. So it was good because it could pull from there. No, I'm not telling you they were an attendance juggernaut because it's an ECHL
No,
team. But was it a good place to bring kids for a game? Yeah, it absolutely was. And back when they had them and they had the Trenton Thunder when they were the Yankees affiliate, it
right.
was really good there. Like that was a good setup. Like people really liked it. I certainly did. I thought it was excellent. And then they lost the hockey team. Eventually, the Yankees got moved out by Major League Baseball. Now they have like a rookie season thing. It's kind of weird. I don't even understand. It's pre-rookie, I think. So it's like it lost a little something, and I think now it's going to get it back. And I think it's important. I do. And even though it's not a Flyers affiliate and it used to be, I still think fans, Flyers fans who are now parents, will realize, yeah, Reading's a little further. This one's a little closer. Yeah, we could check this one out too.
Right. And so what is happening is that the Utah Grizzlies, which are an ECHL team, which is currently an affiliate of the Colorado Avalanche, not the Utah Mammoth.
Right. Yeah,
So
this whole thing,
it's a little confusing, but the Utah Grizzlies had been there for many, many years before Utah got an NHL team, and they were affiliated with the Ducks for a very long time, and they
Yeah.
switched over to the Avalanche. And of course, with the Utah team coming into town, that town can't support two
No. And it
teams.
streamlines the ECHL too, because then teams are a little closer. This further gives them more East Coast, and that's good for them too.
Right. So I do believe that eventually, when they do move here, because they're going to play in Utah for one more year in West Valley,
Yeah,
out there,
very well.
where I used to go to Grizzlies games all the time when I
Yeah,
lived in Utah. So I used to go to the Maverick Center a lot. I played a game on that ice
yeah.
once.
There you go.
So a lot of fun. It's a really good building. It's at about 10,000, and they had some of the games there during the Olympics, which I
Yeah,
attended
yeah.
as
That's a big deal.
well. But I do believe that they'll get a different affiliation when they move here. So they've got the one more year in Utah, then
Right.
they're going to move to Trenton. And based on the information that we've got, they're going to play at Cure Insurance Arena, which is where they played before. Hopefully, this year gives them some time to maybe do some upgrades to the building and just get it
They
more
will.
set for hockey to
Whoever's
come back.
affiliated is, they will put some money into it.
Sure. So, and it seats 7,000, which I think is a
Yeah,
good number, to
that's a
be
good number.
honest.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be some rarities when they sell that out. But yeah, if they get 4,500 a night, they're doing fine.
Right. And so I think it'll be a lot of fun. They're apparently going to do a naming contest. I don't think we'll have Trenton Titans again. I think they're going to
No.
come up with something very different, right?
Yeah, it'll be different, but there's a lot of possibilities. Trenton is a lot of history there. So
Well, what Trenton makes, the world takes, right?
just saying.
That's what the bridge says anyway. But yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I think it would be really interesting if the Flyers switch their affiliation to Trenton eventually and away from Reading. I don't
Anything's
know.
always possible. What's old is
Yeah,
new. It could
I,
always
I
happen.
think I think it could be part of the conversation. I know they have an agreement in place with Reading, but when that expires, and those agreements tend to be very short,
Yeah.
so the opportunity is going to be there, and
Yeah,
maybe they
maybe
give
with the new
Trent.
place, they
Hmm.
kind of get closer again. Maybe.
Yeah, and I know that especially with the coaching staff, there could be a lot more continuity
Yeah, sure.
there, and it's close enough to Allentown. I
Mhm.
think that it makes things pretty easy. So yeah, I think the opportunity is there, and we'll see down the road if the Flyers wind up having their ECHL team in New Jersey, which
Yeah,
is
it'd be
always
interesting.
fun for me as a New Jersey native.
Yep.
All right. Well, we have a lot of your mailbag questions, and we are going to get to those coming up next.
The NFL season's finally here, and FanDuel's making sure you're ready for a kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. Since the Chiefs have lost, their odds have gone up. Maybe you bet the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
All right, digging into the mailbag questions and comments here. We had a lot of good comments about our discussion on the power play
Yeah.
from the Monday show. We're going to talk on Friday, obviously, about the poll results specific to where you think the team is going to end up. But just some other topics around it. A Curious Boomer commented, "It seems you mostly reviewed same old players for this year's power play. You made a brief mention of Andre and spent a bit more time on Dvorak and Zegras. Maybe you should add a speculative segment about new guys. Could a rookie contribute to the power play? What could a power play look like with players like Bump, Luchenko, Gorbenkin, etc.?"
I mean, I'm open to it. Let's see, let camp unfold a little. Let us see that game and see what they look like this year, and then I think it's time for that. But we need to see him in the rookie games first.
Right. And I think that's where we're coming from on that, is that
Right.
based on the rookies that could potentially make the team, I just don't think that most of them will. And so we're kind of looking at what's realistic with the power play this year. I think if we're talking the following season, all of these conversations are wide open, and I
Yeah,
think
sure.
it's fair to project into the future. And I think projecting into the future what the power play could look like, that is a really interesting
Yeah,
conversation that
that's
I
a good
would
idea.
love to have at some point, because I do want to see what Bump looks like on the power
Sure.
play with the Flyers. I think that would be a lot of fun. Jet Luchenko, I think, could have some benefit to the
Mhm.
power play, I think, down the road. I just don't necessarily think he's there yet. Now, if he's on the team to start the season, could they give him second unit time?
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe. Yeah, that would be where he would start anyhow. I don't think it would be first unit. Not
No,
because
I don't think so
this is
either.
not ability. This is not based on ability. This is just based on his time in the league. You've got
Yep.
other guys that have all this continuity. It would be hard to build that continuity just in the preseason.
Right. I truly believe that. Now, any one of these guys could surprise us. The
Yeah,
coaching
sure.
staff could surprise us. And I think in the preseason, we may see some of these
Well, they'll mess
combinations.
around with it in the preseason for sure, but we kind of know what NHL coaches are, especially new ones. They usually
Yeah.
fall back on veterans for the most part to start.
Yes, I agree with that, and that's kinda where we were looking with that. Flyer fan 1681 commented, "Drysdale will be the D on Power Play 1," and we had suggested that it would be York on Power
Mhm.
Play 1 and Drysdale on Power Play 2. Russ, do you think there's an argument to be
Oh
made for
yeah, absolutely.
Drysdale?
Yeah, there's definitely an argument to be made. The problem is he was the architect of last year's bad power play, and York really wasn't because York didn't get a chance. So,
Yep.
it depends how much the coaching staff kind of hangs that on them a little. If they start seeing, because they've probably watched so many bad tapes of last year's power play, so Drysdale will have an opportunity for sure. But if they don't see big improvement in him, that could hurt him for power play 1. He'll be on the power play 2, no questions asked. But yeah, he's in the conversation.
Absolutely, and that's why I think he will have the opportunity to earn moving
Yeah.
up, but he's gotta start on power play too, in my opinion, because I think we saw a lot from him last season in terms of the skating. Like, he was as advertised, where he could dance across
Oh
that blue
yeah.
line really well, but the puck distribution wasn't there.
Right. Right, and that's gonna be a thing. So, he it's a little bit of an uphill battle, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, and I think by the second half of the season, could he be
Yeah, absolutely.
quarterbacking power play 1? Yeah, 100%. I do believe so. To start the season, I really don't think so.
It's fair.
All right, Slick T 5230 asks us, can teams deny a player from playing in the Olympics? Looking at Florida, if Matthew Tkachuk gets hurt in the Olympics, could the Panthers terminate his contract?
No. No, players are protected. This is a collectively bargained agreement.
Yep.
Uh, John Tavares did get hurt in the Olympics, didn't play the rest of the season when he was with the Islanders. They didn't terminate his contract. No team would even try.
No, and it is something that had to be negotiated into the
Right, and they
CBA
can't stop
because
him from playing either.
correct. And that
They can
was
whine
part of
about it.
the
Owners can
deal.
whine about it. That they've done that.
Right, and I think, at a certain point, the players union was just gonna be like, "We want this, and you have
Right.
to give it to us."
Yeah, this
It's
is
just
part
a
of
matter
our
of
we want this, we'll give you that. That's what basically happened.
exactly, and then the league had to go negotiate with the IIHF to be like, "These are the terms of our
Right.
players participating," and there had to be some liability
Remember, they're
support for that,
insured, right?
right?
Insurance was a whole big thing, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a whole process to get this approved, and that's why it took so long, and
Yes.
I think it probably could have happened in Olympics prior, but the negotiations took that long and the NHL held out because a lot of those insurance and liability issues. And I think that's where the Players Association kind of said, you got to figure this out because this is what we want. And we're willing to give up all this other stuff in our bargaining in order to get it.
Yep.
So Chris Berry commented, thanks for the show, Rachel and Russ. I'm looking forward to practices and scrimmages. Are these going to be shown live on the Flyers site?
Well, I'm pretty sure, 99.9% sure, like the rookie games will be just on like a YouTube feed. And to be fair, it is what it is. It's not going to be a Comcast production. So you're going to see what you see, and that's all you're going to see. But it'll be okay. You'll be able to follow the puck somewhat. And, they're not perfect. There's just no way of it happening that way.
No, and the practices won't be. That's for sure.
Practices won't be.
Yeah, the rookie series will be on the web. I think you'll be able to watch it through the Flyers website or through the Rangers website.
On our website. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's maybe one or two cameras if you're lucky.
Yeah, I think it's just one. With commentary, they'll have somebody doing it.
Yeah.
Usually they do.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually it's Brian
like
Smith.
Jason and Brian. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Jason Martinez.
Probably who they'll use.
Yep. And I always look forward to their commentary because doing the daily show, they have, some special insight into the team as well. And we are big Jason Martinez fans around these parts as well. So always love to see that.
Because of me. I worked with him for a couple of years. So he definitely got smarter because of me.
Yeah. And Chris also asked about progress on the new rink. One question that Chris asked, unrelated to what we've already talked about, is who's paying for it. And all indications is that it's a joint effort between the Sixers and Comcast. And
privately funded. There's all kinds of other little things here and there, but it's privately funded.
Yeah, they could end up negotiating some city infrastructure issues like that the city would cover, whether it's like utilities or something like that. But as far as we know, everything is going to be supported by those two organizations, which is a good thing because I don't think taxpayers should have to pay for arenas.
No, but in some places they do. And no, I think this is great.
Now, we have talked recently quite a bit about the goalie rotation and what the options are and the lack of goalie depth. And we have gotten a number of comments, especially of the last couple of weeks, about Carter Hart and should he or could he return, or the Flyers should go after him to come back. And we have not talked about that yet on the show. And mostly why we have not talked about it is because the league made a statement at the end of the trials saying they're ineligible to play. And until we heard anything different, in our opinion, there was no reason to talk about it. Now, we have heard, as of yesterday, Bill Daly made a statement saying that they will be making a decision soon on those 5 players eligible
future.
Right. It's vague wording, it's very vague wording, but there will be a decision soon, whatever soon means, about their status and their eligibility to sign NHL contracts. And so if that changes, we'll talk about it a little more. And like, should the Flyers pursue a contract with Carter Hart? Would Carter Hart want to come back to the Flyers given the circumstances? There's so many topics around that. But until there's something to talk about, like, there was nothing for me to say generally.
I mean,
on
you just asked me on the street, do I think the Flyers are going to pursue him to the point where they're going to give him like a multi-year contract and everything? No, I don't think so. Doesn't mean they wouldn't invite him in, or it doesn't mean, but I just don't think they would make a big investment in him.
Yeah, I think it is a risky investment given their time away from the game for all of them.
Yep.
And so I think that it's a definite question to ask. Should this situation change? And I think
if he plays in the league again, which I think he will, he'll be good. I just don't know if he'll get it back to where he was. And I mean, he was good. He wasn't great.
But he wasn't great. I know.
He was very good. He was better than a lot of other goalies, but it wasn't like he was top 5 in the league or anything. So I don't think the team would make a big investment. That's just my feeling as of today. It could change.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you're right. The opinions could change. I want to see him play
Right.
before I make an investment like that. And given all the baggage that comes with signing him, it has to be worth it. And
Right.
his goaltending prior to all of this was not at the level, in my opinion, that makes some of that extra headache worth it for for the Flyers as an organization. That's something they're going to have to decide
Yeah, they
on
would
their
weigh
own.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And, again, should things change or should the Flyers get involved, we are absolutely going to talk about it
Yep.
on the show moving forward. All right, that will do it for today's show. Thanks so much for listening. We will be back tomorrow to talk more rookie camp and the state of the Flyers. And as a reminder, we always want to hear from you. If you've got mailbag questions or Flyers thoughts, you can let us know via any of our socials at Locked On Flyers. You can email us at lockedonflyers@gmail.com or comment on our YouTube channel. I'm Rachel. I'm on Blue Sky and Twitter at rmiriam. That's RMIRIAM.
I'm Russ. I'm at Sportology on the same socials, SPORTSOLOGY.
Thanks for making Locked On Flyers your first listen. Today, for your next listen, check out the Locked On NHL podcast. There's no off season. It brings you the daily league-wide stories that matter most with local coverage you love from Locked On. On this Friday show, I will be talking about all the rookie tournaments with my co-host Gil Martin of Locked On Islanders. You can find it on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Have a great day, everyone.